something strange is happening, and it's got the entire music world watching closely. Not loud, not chaotic, not obvious, cold. That's the only way to describe it, because right now all eyes are on one man, Drake. And whatever he's planning, it doesn't feel like a normal rollout. It started with a chair. Yeah, a chair, but not just any chair. A frozen one, covered in ice, placed in what looked like a dim, empty space. No explanation, no caption, just an image that felt intentional, almost symbolic. And within minutes, social media is going crazy. Fans are shocked, people are confused. And theories? They're everywhere. Some people think it's the beginning of a new era. Others believe it's a message, a warning, a response. Because if you've been paying attention, Drake hasn't exactly been quiet lately. There's been tension, subtle shots, and conversations bubbling beneath the surface involving names like Ebro Darden and Peter Rosenberg. Nothing direct, nothing confirmed, but enough for fans to start connecting dots. And now, with this Iceman theme starting to take shape, people are asking one question over and over again. Is Drake about to freeze the entire game, or is this something deeper? Because when Drake rolls something out, it's never random. And if this really is the beginning of Iceman, then whatever comes next might hit colder than anything we've seen before. Something unusual is happening, and this time it doesn't just feel like a rollout, it feels like a statement. The energy surrounding Drake right now is different. Not loud in the traditional sense, not filled with constant posts or flashy announcements, but cold, calculated. Almost like everything is being done on purpose, piece by piece, with a message hidden underneath. And fans? They're picking up on it fast. It started with something small, something that didn't seem like a big deal at first. A few images began circulating online showing what looked like a strange setup. Chairs. But not normal chairs. These ones appeared frozen, covered in ice, placed in what seemed like controlled environments. No captions, no explanation, just visuals. And within hours, social media was going crazy. Fans are shocked at how something so simple sparked so many questions. What does this mean? People kept asking. Is this part of something bigger? Then the word started spreading. Iceman. Now nothing is confirmed, but fans believe this could be the name of Drake's next move. Not just a project, but a whole era. And some people think the frozen chairs symbolize silence, or maybe pressure. Others are saying it represents people being left out in the cold. And when you start connecting that idea to Drake's history of subtle messaging, things start to feel a little more intentional. But here's where the conversation really starts heating up. Even though everything about this rollout feels cold, names started getting pulled into it, specifically Ebro Darden and Peter Rosenberg. Now to be clear, nothing official has been said. No direct diss has been confirmed. But social media is saying that some of the imagery, combined with past tension and recent commentary, could be pointing in their direction. Fans believe Drake might be sending subtle shots not through words yet, but through visuals and timing. And that's what makes this so interesting. Because Drake has done this before. He's known for using rollouts as storytelling, dropping hints, creating conversations, letting fans build the narrative before he ever says anything directly. And right now, it feels like that same strategy is unfolding again, but with a colder, more controlled tone. Emotions are running high online. Some fans are excited, calling this genius marketing. Others are skeptical, saying people might be reaching too far. One comment read, "You're turning ice into a whole conspiracy." Another replied, "Nah, this is Drake. Nothing is random." And just like that, people are divided. Meanwhile, hip-hop pages and influencers are amplifying everything. Every new image, every repost, every tiny detail is being analyzed like it holds a deeper meaning. Social media is going crazy trying to decode it all. Even the positioning of the chairs, the lighting, the environments, they're all being questioned. Some people think this could be leading up to a surprise drop. Others believe it's building towards something bigger than music. Maybe a visual project, maybe a full concept rollout. Unconfirmed reports suggest that Drake has been working closely with creative teams to craft a very specific aesthetic this time around. If that's true, then this might not just be about songs. It might be about creating a whole experience. At the same time, there's a layer of tension underneath everything, because if the speculation about Ebro and Peter holds any weight, even symbolically, then this could introduce a more confrontational side to the rollout. Not necessarily aggressive, but pointed, intentional. The kind of energy that makes people pay closer attention. But again, nothing is confirmed. And that uncertainty is exactly what's fueling the moment. Because right now, Drake hasn't said a word. No explanation, no clarification, no direct message. Just visuals, silence, and a growing wave of anticipation that keeps getting stronger. And if this really is the beginning of something, then whatever comes next might be colder than anyone expected. And just when people thought they had a grip on what was going on, everything started moving faster. What began as a few mysterious visuals suddenly turned into a full-blown conversation across the culture. The frozen chairs weren't just images anymore, they became symbols. Symbols that fans kept trying to decode, analyze, and connect back to Drake and whatever he might be planning next. His social media is going crazy right now, and the theories are getting more detailed by the hour. Some fans believe the chairs represent positions in the industry, who's sitting comfortably, who's being left out, and who's about to get replaced. Others think the ice itself symbolizes pressure, like everything is being frozen in place until Drake decides to make his move. Nothing is confirmed, but the way people are breaking this down, you'd think there's a hidden message in every single frame. Then came the first real twist that pushed things into another level of intensity. A clip started circulating online. Again, nothing official, but it showed a voice in the background of one of the setups saying something that sounded like, "Let it melt when it's time." That one line, whether real or misinterpreted, sent fans into overdrive. Because now the conversation wasn't just about what the visuals mean, but when something is supposed to happen. Fans are shocked at how quickly this went from curiosity to full-blown anticipation. People started predicting dates, connecting the rollout to past Drake releases, even looking at weather patterns and calendar symbolism. It sounds wild, but this is exactly how deep the speculation has gone. Emotions ran high as fans debated whether this was all intentional or just people reading too much into it. At the same time, the conversation around Ebro Darden and Peter Rosenberg started picking up even more momentum. Some people think the frozen chairs could be aimed at media figures, suggesting that certain voices in the culture are being left out in the cold. Others believe this is a stretch and that fans are just trying to force a narrative. But either way, their names keep coming up, and that alone is enough to keep the tension alive. One viral post read, "If this is a rollout and he's sending silent shots at the media, this is next level." Another replied, "Or maybe you're all just bored and making stories." And just like that, people are divided again. But even the skeptics can't deny how much attention this is getting. Meanwhile, other artists and influencers are starting to react, subtly. A few cryptic tweets here and there. Some posts that seem unrelated at first, but fans are tying them back to the ICEMAN theme. Our unconfirmed reports suggest that certain industry insiders have already heard something is coming, which is why the energy feels so tense right now. Again, nothing is confirmed, but the timing of everything is making people question whether this is bigger than it looks. There's also this growing belief that Drake is controlling the narrative without saying anything at all. No interviews, no direct engagement, no clarification. Just letting the internet do what it does best. Talk. And in a way, that silence is becoming the loudest part of the rollout, because every hour that passes without explanation only adds more curiosity. Some fans believe this could lead to a surprise drop, something that lands out of nowhere and instantly makes sense of all the visuals. Others think this is just the beginning, that the real message hasn't even been revealed yet. And then there are those who feel like this might not be about music alone, but about positioning. about reminding people who Drake is and how he moves. What makes this moment so intense is how unpredictable it feels. There's no clear direction, no confirmed timeline, no obvious answer. Just layers of speculation, reactions, and growing anticipation. Social media is going crazy, emotions are running high, and the entire conversation feels like it's building towards something, but nobody knows exactly what. And right in the middle of all this noise, Drake is still completely silent. No captions, no statements, no confirmation, just ice, mystery, and a rollout that's starting to feel colder and more calculated by the second. Now the situation has reached a point where it doesn't just feel like hype anymore, it feels like pressure building. The conversation around Drake and this ICEMAN rollout has taken on a life of its own, and fans aren't just watching, they're emotionally invested. Every new theory, every repost, every small detail is adding weight to the moment, and you can feel it across social media. Emotions are running high, and people are no longer just curious, they're locked in. At this stage, the focus has shifted from what the visuals mean to what Drake might actually be about to say. Because if all of this is leading to music, and fans believe it is, then the content of that music is starting to feel even more important than the rollout itself. Some people think this could be one of Drake's most direct eras, where he addresses critics, or media figures, and the overall conversation surrounding his position in hip-hop. Others believe he'll stay more subtle, using layered lyrics and indirect messages instead of clear call-outs. The names Ebro Darden and Peter Rosenberg continue to circulate in discussions, and fans believe there could be underlying tension connected to past commentary. Nothing is confirmed, but the timing of everything, the visuals, the resurfaced clips, the speculation, has people wondering if this rollout is carrying a deeper message aimed at media narratives. Some fans are saying, he's not yelling this time, he's showing it, while others argue that it's all coincidence being amplified by the internet. Meanwhile, the pressure of expectation is growing, because when it comes to Drake, the bar is always high. Fans aren't just expecting hits, they're expecting impact. And with a rollout this mysterious, the expectations feel even heavier. Some people think this could be a defining moment, a reset that reminds everyone why Drake has stayed at the top for so long. Others are more cautious, saying the build-up might be getting too big, making it harder for any release to fully match the hype. Social media is going crazy trying to predict what's next. Some users are analysing the ICE concept in deeper ways, saying it could represent emotional detachment, a colder, more controlled version of Drake who doesn't react to noise the same way anymore. Others believe it's about dominance, about freezing the competition and reasserting control over the game. Nothing is confirmed, but the symbolism is keeping people engaged. At the same time, there's this feeling that the industry itself is reacting quietly. Fans have noticed that certain artists are moving differently. Less announcements, fewer releases, more space being created. Some people think it's just timing. Others believe it's strategic, suggesting that no one wants to compete with a potential Drake drop. Again, nothing is confirmed, but the perception alone is enough to fuel the conversation. What's making everything even more intense is how personal this feels to fans. People aren't just waiting for songs, they're waiting for a moment. Drake has built a career on connecting with listeners, whether through emotion, confidence, or storytelling. And now fans are expecting all of that to come together in whatever this ICEMAN concept turns out to be. That emotional investment is what's driving the conversation forward. At the same time, doubt is starting to creep in for some. A few voices online are asking whether the hype is getting too far ahead of reality. What if this is just visuals? One comment read. What if we're expecting something that isn't even there? And while those questions are valid, they're being drowned out by the louder wave of anticipation. Because right now, the build-up feels too strong to ignore. Every moment of silence from Drake adds more weight. Every unanswered question adds more tension. And every theory, no matter how small, keeps the conversation alive. And that's what makes this moment feel so different. Because even without a single confirmed detail, Drake is controlling the entire narrative without saying a word. And just when it felt like everything was about to spill over, it didn't. Instead, the energy shifted again, this time into something even more intense. Not louder, not clearer, just heavier. The kind of silence that doesn't calm things down but actually makes people lean in closer. Because right now, nobody is just casually watching anymore. Everyone is waiting. And the question isn't if Drake is about to make a move. It's when. The rollout hasn't disappeared, but it has slowed down. No new frozen chairs popping up. No fresh visuals flooding timelines. Just the same images, replayed, reposted, reanalyzed over and over again. And somehow that pause has made everything feel more intentional. Fans believe this could be the final stretch before something major happens. Some people think Drake is letting the anticipation reach its peak and allowing the conversation to build naturally before he steps in and shifts everything at once. Social media is going crazy trying to predict the exact moment. People are watching the clock, tracking patterns, even comparing this rollout to previous ones to find clues. "He's done this before," one fan wrote. "Quiet build, then boom." Others aren't so sure. "This feels different," another comment said. "This feels colder, like he's proving something." And that word keeps coming back, cold. Not just in visuals, but in energy. At the same time, the conversation around Ebro Darden and Peter Rosenberg hasn't gone away. In fact, it's gotten sharper. Some people think if there is any response coming, it won't be loud or obvious. It'll be subtle, strategic, the kind of message you have to listen closely to understand. When others believe there might not be any direct connection at all, and that fans are simply tying everything together because the timing feels too perfect. Nothing is confirmed, but that hasn't stopped people from choosing sides. Emotions are running high across timelines. Some fans are fully convinced this is about to be one of Drake's most calculated moments ever. Others are frustrated, saying the silence is dragging on too long. "Drop something already," one user posted. Another replied, "The wait is the rollout." And honestly, that might be exactly what's happening. Because right now, Drake isn't just building hype, he's controlling attention. Every hour that passes without an answer makes people more invested. Every unanswered question pulls more people into the conversation. And the longer it goes on, the more it starts to feel like whatever comes next has to mean something. Not just musically, but culturally. There's also a growing belief that this moment could change the tone of the industry, even if only temporarily. Some fans think Drake is about to remind everyone why he's been able to stay at the top for so long. Others believe this could introduce a new version of him, one that's less reactive, more focused, more calculated. A colder presence, just like the Iceman theme suggests. And then, just when things felt like they couldn't get any more intense, a small detail surfaced again. A phrase. Quiet, simple, but enough to shake things up all over again. "Stay cold." No context, no confirmation, no official source. But it spread fast. Social media is going crazy once again, with fans debating what it means. Some people think it's the final signal. Others believe it's just fueling speculation. Either way, it added one more layer to a rollout that already feels unpredictable. Now everything feels like it's on the edge. Like one move could set everything off. And that's where we are right now. Waiting, watching, trying to figure out whether this is all leading to a moment or something even bigger. Because if this really is the Iceman era, then when Drake finally breaks that silence, it won't just be heard, it'll hit cold. And now here we are, right at the edge of it all. A rollout with no clear answers. Frozen visuals, cryptic messages, rising tension, and a silence from Drake that somehow speaks louder than anything else. Fans are shocked at how deep this has gone without a single official confirmation. Social media is going crazy. Emotions are running high and people are completely divided on what this Iceman era really means. Is Drake about to drop something major? Is this a calculated response to the media conversations involving Ebro Darden and Peter Rosenberg? Or is this all just speculation, with fans connecting dots that were never meant to be connected? Because right now, nothing is confirmed. But one thing is clear, the anticipation is real. This doesn't feel like a normal rollout. It feels like a moment being built in real time. And whether it leads to music, a statement, or something completely unexpected, people are watching closer than ever. So now I've got to ask you, what do you think really happened? Is Drake sending a message with this Iceman rollout? Or is the internet just creating a story out of mystery? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. I want to hear your take, your theories, everything. And if you're tapped into moments like this where hip-hop feels bigger than just music, make sure you like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you don't miss anything. Because if this really is the beginning of something, we're going to be right here, breaking it all down every step of the way.